The following program does not offer personal medical advice. Please consult your doctor before using any treatment or product we cover. Welcome to Go to Health Media with your host, Jonathan Marks. We provide a welcoming environment where experts educate you on important health topics, answer your questions, and provide information from which you can benefit in consultation with your doctor. You can visit and subscribe to the show at gotohealthmedia.com. And now, here is Jonathan Marks. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another show of Go to Health. This is Jonathan Marks. We're glad you're here. You can watch us on our website at gotohealthmedia.com. You can also watch us on YouTube and listen to us on 8 podcast networks. We'd love for you to subscribe at gotohealthmedia.com so you don't miss any of our shows. So today, there was a famous TV commercial in the 1980s where a woman is served a small patty of meat in a large hamburger bun. What was her famous line? Do you remember that? "Where's the beef?" We've been hearing about that ever since. Well, that's what our show is about today. March is National Nutrition Month, and for athletes, high-protein diets have always been crucial for building muscle and enhancing performance. However, adequate protein intake is vital for everyone's diet, both kids and adults and seniors. For children and teens, protein supports growth and development, energy and focus, and overall well-being. For adults, protein can reduce hunger levels, boost metabolism, and help your body repair after injury. And seniors lose muscle mass every decade, so complete protein is an essential ingredient for maintaining good health and strength. Increased protein and strength training is what it's all about as people age. Dietitians say beef is a great option for health-conscious consumers. With high-quality protein, iron, zinc, and other essential nutrients, beef provides everything needed to meet your protein requirements. As a matter of fact, as you'll hear in our interview today, animal proteins provide all 9 essential amino acids your body cannot produce on its own, so beef can be an important part of your diet. Plant-based proteins are great, but don't provide all of these 9 amino acids. Our guest today is Amy Goodson, a registered dietitian and consultant with an emphasis on overall health, wellness, and sports nutrition. She has 15 years experience and has worked with Ben Hogan Sports Medicine, the Dallas Cowboys, the Texas Rangers, as well as with many middle school, high school, and endurance athletes. She also works with the everyday exercising population to improve health and wellness. So welcome to the show, Amy Goodson. How are you today?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Wonderful. So tell us, why is protein so important for not just athletes, but for everyone at all ages?
So protein plays an important role in building muscle by providing the body with the building blocks that it needs to help fuel recovery after physical activity of all types, from small workouts to long athlete workouts. Now, what's important to note is that animal proteins like lean beef are really one of the most nutrient-dense, complete proteins available, and that means that it provides us with essential amino acids that our bodies need to help maintain its lean muscle mass. Now, what's really important is that as we age, protein helps fuel stamina, and this is going to be critical for helping adults live independently longer in life. So they're not just living, but they're living well and they're strong and healthy to really accomplish those activities of daily living.
Wonderful. And how should you balance protein in meals, both for yourself and your family?
So I always encourage people to follow the 3-part plate rule. And that means making 1/3 of your plate high quality protein like lean beef. That's going to help promote muscle building and recovery. Making 1/3 of your plate whole grain carbohydrate. That could be oatmeal or whole grain bread in the morning. That could be a brown rice or a multigrain pasta. That's really going to help with sustained energy. And then make 1/3 of your plate colorful fruits and vegetables for added vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and fiber. And then when we talk about snacks, We also want you to power those with protein and carbohydrate. So that could be as simple as beef jerky and a banana. It could be Greek yogurt with berries and some whole grain granola, or even just cheese and whole grain crackers. So really simple ways to help get protein on the plate to help improve your energy levels over the course of the day.
You mentioned earlier that protein is an important source for senior citizens as well. Can you say a little bit more about that? And does the size of the plate or the plate portions change as you age at all?
So when we talk about older adults, protein becomes essential because we know that we lose lean muscle mass every decade as we age if we're not doing our efforts to maintain it. So I always joke with people that after about age 25, you better start working at it, both strength training and taking in high quality protein, because on average, people lose about 2 to 3% of their lean muscle mass a decade if they're not strategically focusing on protein intake and strength training. So as we age, obviously, activities of daily life can become more challenging. So we really want people to get that protein on their plate. Your protein needs are actually even a little bit higher as you get older. And you'll see a lot of people wanting to eat like toast. Like my grandmother wants to eat literally broth-based soup and crackers. And I am like, Grandma, we got to get some beef in that soup. We have to get some milk in your day, to help them get in that high quality protein to help maintain lean muscle mass. So we want adults all the way into the older years to be doing strength training activity. So that's going to help support bone strength as well as muscle strength. Core stability, what's a challenge with people as they age? Oftentimes we see falls, specifically in women. We see them breaking their hips. Adding in that high quality protein at each of those meals and snacks can help really the body stay strong, both from a bone health perspective and a muscle health perspective. Again, helping people more age well. So thinking about that plate, getting protein on the plate is going to be key. It can look a variety of different ways, but yes, we still want for people, even when they're older, getting that at least a third of their plate. Oftentimes we'll tell people, if you're looking at it in grams, 25 to 30 grams of protein, of that high quality protein to help fuel muscle building and then also recovery and maintenance of lean muscle mass as well.
Great. That was a great answer. Thank you for that detail.
Yeah.
Good. So what are some of your favorite protein sources? You've mentioned a few, but if you can just kind of go through a list for us.
Sure. So when we talk about like people nowadays and looking at eating, more people are really looking to whole foods versus processed foods for their protein intake. So I love lean beef, as I've told you. I love eggs, dairy foods like milk, cheese, and yogurt. You're getting a variety of essential nutrients. So with beef, you actually get 10 essential nutrients, including high quality protein. So that's going to be key. And then the other thing that I remind people is we want food that tastes good. And beef is known for its delicious flavor, as well as its versatility in different meals. And that ultimately helps people improve their overall meal satisfaction. So protein helps you get full faster and stay full longer. So that means you're going to feel more satisfied after a meal. And that's really going to help you maintain your energy levels over the course of the day as well.
Great. And tell us a little bit about plant protein, because I know that's getting more popular. How do we work that into the diet, and how do we balance that with meat protein?
So a lot of people don't understand the differences between animal protein and plant protein, so we'll make a distinction. So animal proteins, think lean beef, think dairy foods, think egg, provide you with all of your essential amino acids. So there's 9 essential amino acids that your body cannot make. We need to get it from food. Animal proteins provide all 9, and then as we've talked about, a variety of other essential nutrients. When we talk about plant proteins, there are a few exceptions like quinoa, soy, chia seeds, a few others, but the majority of plant-based proteins, think beans and lentils, nuts, seeds, they provide essential amino acids, but they don't provide all 9. So I like to tell people, you need to be a little more strategic when you're consuming those plant proteins. Now, they provide fiber fiber, they provide other nutrients, so that's going to be important. So as long as your preference includes that you like animal foods, I will encourage people, get animal food, animal protein on the plate. And then yes, you can still include those nuts and seeds. I mean, I'm a peanut butter lover, but I can't get all of my protein from that, right? You know, and the beans and the lentils as a part of your overall meal intake. But I like to, one of the best ways to think about it is that animal proteins give you more grams of protein per bite. So we want people incorporating plant foods, and they can surely incorporate plant proteins, but ideally, instead of this or that, think this and that. So, you know, think about like building a bowl. So many people love bowls. Maybe it has whole grain rice and pinto beans and lean beef and veggies and avocado. So I'm really incorporating all those foods. I think so many times people go, oh, it's this or that. You can't have this. Well, how about this and that? And it's focusing on putting high quality protein as the center of the plate. And then really, I like to say it's like a plant focused meal. You have whole grains and plants, but with that high quality protein to give you those essential amino acids, as well as the other nutrients that your body really needs.
Great. Good. Thanks for that clarification. So tell us about some of the foods you're making today. What do you have in front of you?
I have lots of delicious things for you. So in the morning, people are in a hurry, especially when it comes to feeding kids. So I love these beef sticky buns. They're made with lean beef ground sausage. We've got veggies and some cheese. So this is great because you can actually make the beef in advance. In the morning, you put the mixture on a whole grain pizza dough, roll it up like a cinnamon roll, pop it in the oven while your kids are getting ready. And just like that, you have a very savory, satisfying breakfast to feed your kids so that they've got that mental focus, the energy that they need to go to school. Obviously, for us adults going to work. Lunchtime, it can be as simple as a wrap. So this is a chimichurri steak wrap. It's got the lean beef. You can really use whatever veggies you have left in your kitchen. This has spinach, carrots, and red bell pepper, but adding the color is going to be important. Whole grain tortilla, a little bit of chimichurri sauce. If you have kids, it might be more fun for them to put it in a bento box style so that they can just put it together themselves. And then, I mean, seriously, who doesn't love a good taco recipe? And what's really great about these braised brisket street style tacos is on those busy days, you pop that brisket in the slow cooker in the morning. When you get home from work or chasing your kids or soccer practice or whatever it is, it's ready. Throw it into some corn tortillas with veggies, avocado, pair it with a salad, maybe some black beans and brown rice. But what's a big bonus is you can cook extra of the brisket, and then you already have that high quality protein ready to go for other meals during the week. So that's one of the things I like to help families think about. Instead of starting from scratch every night, what are we gonna have for dinner? You make a ground beef or, you know, the braised brisket. One night it's a taco. One night you put the beef into a stir fry. One night if you did ground beef, you put, you know, mix it with tomato sauce and a whole grain pasta. So there's lots of different ways that you can think about using one high quality protein, but then making lots of different flavorful meals for your family to enjoy.
Wonderful. Brilliant. You really know a lot about this. And I know you've done a lot of work with athletes, but do these diets change? I mean, how does it, if I'm not, you know, one of these star athletes or whatever, do these recommendations change in any way?
You know, for everybody, we want high quality protein on the plate. I would say for athletes, they're often eating more of all food, more carbs, more protein, more veggies, more, you know, fat, whatever that is. But it really doesn't. We want people balancing that plate because when we have that whole grain carbohydrate with the high quality protein, that is really going to be what helps stabilize blood sugar. And that's important because your energy levels and your mental focus follow your blood sugar levels. So if I have a much more stable blood sugar over the course of the day, I'm going to have more stable energy. I'm going to be a little more focused. And that becomes really important for helping with meal satiety and portion control. So we know that people say, oh, I had an afternoon slump. Well, when you can get high quality protein with a carbohydrate on the plate, then of course adding color with produce, that really is going to help you feel full longer after meals. That improves overall meal satisfaction action. And that's going to help you from preventing, hopefully, those energy slumps throughout the day, and also going to be really important for portion control. So if I'm not as hungry at the next meal and snack, I'm going to do a better job typically of making a more nutrient-rich food choice, and I'm going to be able to watch my portion sizes, which for everybody is what we want them to be doing. So it's really providing those key ingredients, let's call them carbs and protein, to help people feel more satisfied and energized over the course of the day.
Brilliant. I love it. So as we end the interview here, Amy, give us a message you'd like to leave with people that they're going to remember. And if you want to know more after this interview, you go to beefitswhatsfordinner.com. That's all one word, beefitswhatsfordinner.com. So Amy, what are your last words for us today?
I would encourage you to power your plate with protein. And that can be cooking protein, but it could be as simple as beef jerky at a snack. It could be grabbing a hard-boiled egg if you're, in the morning running out the door, or a string cheese. But focusing on these nutrient-rich, high-quality proteins like lean beef, getting it on your plate, you will thank me, because you'll be surprised at how much more satisfied you'll be after a meal, and then how your energy will be more sustained over the course of the day. And then, just like you said, you can visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com, more delicious recipes, as well as lots of education sources to talk about how we can fuel those young kids, how we can fuel the older population to live overall better, healthier lives.
Great. Thanks so much for being with us today, Amy.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thanks for being with us today. We're growing so quickly, and we're so grateful for your viewership and your listenership. Remember, you can subscribe on our website at gotohealthmedia.com and just click subscribe. That way you won't miss any of our shows. You can also watch us on YouTube and listen to us on 8 podcast networks. So we'll see you again next time. Remember, as we say at the end of every show, go to health. Take care. Bye-bye.